What's up, YouTube? It's Bobbles and Ball Cards back with the Monday Night Live. Got Eric back in house. He was MIA last week, so hashtag make Eric pay. And then we got newly retired, fresh Monday the 13th. You know, it's not Friday the 13th. Monday the 13th. Newly retired Carlos in the house, and we are just here to hang out, have some fun. Shenanigans. So we were just talking a little bit prior to going live. Carlos was telling us that he slept in and then used this fancy thing. I'm not sure which meal it constitutes, but he said brunch.
It's all about
Like
the brunch.
the boy was retired
thing.
and now he's out having brunch.
This is what I wanted. This is all I wanted, Bubbles. The point of retirement is to be able to enjoy some good brunch. Eric, help me out on this. Like, if you're gonna retire, you gotta have some brunch.
In the very short period of time in which I was retired, brunch was a daily occurrence.
See, like I'm into it. Like
Man.
I'm good, man. I didn't need a manual for this. Like I instinctively knew brunch was the right call.
All right, what is the brunch of choice?
I'm a very much an eggs, and I like to make like an egg sandwich to go along with a couple of things. Put a couple of things together. I can get some hash browns with it as well. Like I make a full breakfast. It's solid. I can have breakfast at any time. So for me, brunch is perfectly fine for breakfast. I love breakfast. Breakfast anyway.
Well, and you also are hanging on the edge. Do you have the jersey on underneath just to rip it open?
Like, I warned the guys. I said to them, this is not an idle threat. This is a statement of fact. The second that Aaron Rodgers follows his destiny to follow Brett Favre, the second he follows his destiny and just goes to the goddamn Jets, the moment that happens, I was joking with the guys like, "Oh, you're gonna be excited for Friday, dude." If he would just get it over with, I will plan an impromptu live. I will make this happen. We'll have the Aaron Rodgers talk. No problem. Let's do it. I'm in.
Are you going to pre-order the Aaron Rodgers Vikings jersey though?
I should. That would be the. But I'll be honest. Part of the reason the trolling jersey works so well is that I bought it on clearance. So the key is after the Hindenburg disaster happens, then you buy it on the clearance. The prudent move, Bubbles, is you buy it on the cheap. You don't buy it on the upswing. You buy the dip. You buy, and that was about as much of a dip as I could possibly get. I think it was $20. Like it was.
Well,
It was
that's
like,
why I was
that's
talking. Plan ahead, pre-order the Vikings, and then
I think the NFL would still charge you full price. You can put whatever name you want on it. They'll still charge you like normal.
probably.
Yeah.
What are you into, Eric? I know.
Get the Jordan Love Jets, right? That's what
Ah,
you get.
That would be like that right there is thinking way way ahead.
Because the deal is, you play for like 20 years, you are a Hall of Fame quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, and then you go to the Jets. So just get his jersey soon.
I legitimately think there are plenty of Green Bay Packers. Look, if the curse of this franchise is that you will get generational quarterback after generational quarterback who will disappoint on the whole, however, still yield you a Super Bowl per generation, they will literally take that deal. They're like, wait, so you're saying that within the next several years, Jordan Love will lead the team to a Super Bowl and then never lead them to one again? But you're saying I get to watch 3 different Hall of Fame quarterbacks and watch 3 Super Bowls and 4 appearances? We'll sign on for that deal right now. That sounds great. Ask the Lions if they'll take that deal. Ask the Vikings if they'll take that deal.
Right.
did you just say Jordan Love's a Hall of Fame quarterback?
I think that's what Eric is implying. He's
That's
trying
what
to
I'm
put him down the
implying.
path.
This is what happens in Green Bay. You get a quarterback.
Man,
Bubbles, maybe it's the curse. Maybe the point is you get a Hall of Fame quarterback, but they will only be successful once.
Right.
And then it'll be just years and years and years of trying and failing. But you'll get one. Because Favre had one. Aaron Rodgers had one. If Jordan Love gets one, everybody will take it. Like they don't care. Like the rest of it, you know what? It's fine. Don't even worry about it. It's fine.
it's better than many teams in the NFL.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm
mean-
like, it could be worse.
The state of Ohio, like,
Would take that deal in a heartbeat.
yeah, I mean the Bengals can't win a Super Bowl. They can make it, they can't win, and then the Browns, like, do they have one? I think.
The Browns have never won a Super Bowl, no.
So the Browns haven't either. Okay, I thought they
Yeah.
had one. I know the
It would've
Bengals
been-
haven't
so,
won.
so it's like NFL championship, but it was like literally Jim Brown days. You got to go back to
Yeah.
Jim Brown days. Like that's the last time they won a championship, an NFL championship, but it predates the Super Bowl era. And that was the
Yeah.
first iteration because the Browns are actually in Baltimore. Sorry, the Browns are actually in. Where did they move them? They moved them over to.
Baltimore.
It was the Baltimore one, right? Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, just wanted to double check. It was the
And
Baltimore.
we got 2.
Yeah, yeah. But that's the point, though. Like to add to the whole curse. The curse is that yes, the franchise did eventually win, but they had to move them out.
So the missus here says hello to everyone and hopes we have a good chat. She's not feeling very well. She's likely going to feel even worse later. Saturday night, I got house bragging rights. The Stars, surprisingly, in overtime, beat the Kraken, beat her Kraken, even with a 4-minute penalty. That was brutal towards the end of the third. Even with Robertson getting called for a tripping penalty and having to go to the box, they pulled it out, went to overtime, and we suck in overtime and still beat them. So that was pretty good. And then they're playing them again tonight. So the two teams that like could have matched up and had these back to backs, it worked out perfect, sort of, because we get to razz each other and enjoy the game together. So. Anyway, it should be fun. I have the house rights right now. If they win tonight, I might be in trouble, but we shall see. Hockey Barn here says it's Friday on a Monday. Let's drink my beer. Brought to you by Eric and his recent eBay purchase.
Cheers.
I was tricked. I have said multiple times that I will never, ever, ever purchase from Hockey Barn Collectibles again, and somehow I was tricked into doing it. I'm not really sure how this
Is
happened.
it the Russian bots thing again? Because you've used that excuse before.
It may have been because I no longer wish to do business with them, and for some reason I keep getting bills. I don't know how it's happening. So Russian bots is all I can come up with.
Well, enjoy your beer, Hockey Barn. Hopefully it tastes much better since it's on Eric's dime, and hopefully Eric, you got a nice purchase from Hockey Barn.
I don't
Hopefully
know.
it's a good trip.
I don't know. Things just show up in the mail. They have drawings on them for some reason. With
Well, our buddy Wes in the chat knows all about purchases that he can't explain coming in. Usually
Ambient West,
is
and
involved.
he actually, coincidentally enough, the small community, and then somehow the hockey section in the Discord turned up having multiple Stars fans. The team in Dallas of all places. So yes, go Stars. Thanks, Wes. Wheels here says hello, and he said yes. It's 4 championships. The Browns won.
Yep, during the NFL era. Yep.
And then
That team
Mrs.
was
says,
good
"Shut up.
once.
I'm sick, and the Kraken are winning tonight, even if I sleep through it."
Nice. Yeah.
So,
If you ever go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, though, in all seriousness, you can actually see it because they make special emphasis to make sure they mention to you that the Browns were once decent. They've got like sections. When I was there, they had like sections where like, and here's when the Browns won a championship. How convenient that you would point that out. You have to remind people. It's like, no, seriously, they did win once. Like it was a thing.
Paul
I
Brown.
swear to you. Like they were really good. Not like now, but at one point they were good.
Paul Brown was a hell of a owner and everything, though. I mean, can you imagine owning both teams, not just one, but 2 teams in the same state, and they both suck. So,
Well, that's
but he's got his name all over it.
The point is they do today. That's important.
Let's see here. Wes says the missus. Oh yeah, he's confirming the missus likes the Kraken. Hockey says you love him, Eric. There you go. Confirmation.
Nope, I'm gonna.
Wes says sounds like I got to buy it from Hockey Barn. The joke is, I guess Wes takes Ambien, and then he will sometimes show that he's purchased some very nice items, but says he doesn't remember purchasing them. So it's the Ambien Wes mode when he is on eBay. So that's the little inside joke there.
Somehow Hockey Barn is drugging me and giving me Ambien or roofies or something, and somehow I end up purchasing things, and I don't understand it. I don't.
Well, there's
do
another
not
special
want to get anything else. I'm done. I'm done.
There's another special gift for you in this package, apparently, Eric.
Probably
So
real
you're gonna have to share what it is.
No, it's probably not even a drawing of poop. It's probably like a real poop. It's gonna be a box, and it's gonna be just a steaming thing of poop in it.
Mm.
Question is, will it be in a crumble cookie? Hockey Barn, do it in a crumble cookie box.
Oh, to trick me.
To trick you, yeah, of course.
Wouldn't put it past him. I'm telling you.
Wheels here says, long-time watcher of Bobble's videos. I do appreciate it. The name is new, so if you've been a long-time watcher, thanks for joining in the chat. Don't be shy. We're just a bunch of nerds around here. Canton is the home of where football started.
Mm-hmm.
We have Jeff here. Hello, everyone.
Even Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
Highlanders says, Stars should win tonight. Big fan of Robo's talent. And then Wes here confirms Ambien Wes is quite the cut. He is a connoisseur of awesome pickups, Wes.
Prolific.
Now, speaking back to this.
Is it time for the Robertson pump?
It's not for a pump. It's actually, I want to deflate a little bit more.
Okay.
I am going to make a push to get a cup RPA. And I was on eBay, and I really am kicking myself in the ass because I believe it was Saturday.
All right.
It looks like there was a cup. Now, this is kind of good to see, I think, but also sad for the cup in general.
Okay.
There was a Robertson end for $980.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy when you get one of the best rookies in that class and it doesn't even cover the box.
Yeah. Well, that right now, that's right now, that is an issue. The cup is having a taste of it. And like, you can take this broader, and I think we'll talk about it a little bit more on Friday as well, because I want to expand on it a little bit. You know, and Friday we're going to keep the show short, but that should still be enough time to talk about this, so we'll be all right. But the thing is, right now, because of all the delays, yeah, probably. So right now, all the delays have slowed down a lot of the momentum of a lot of stuff. So that's been a major issue. So basically what's happened with a lot of it is that, yeah, you got these really expensive packs, and there are good cards in it, like really good cards in it. But when you open the cards, it's like, okay, so can I cover the pack? Is there enough in here to cover the pack? And it's not an obvious yes. Even if you pull somebody decent, it's like, it's not automatic. Oh yeah, for sure. Are you sure?
But I would have to argue he's like top 2 in the product.
Doesn't matter though.
Like him and Kirill.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if it so Robertson's had this arc. He's a 249 rookie because he wasn't a star when the product was being designed.
Right.
But then he had this huge apex. Like if it had come out late, but like still on a couple months ago, probably we're hitting right as he's, taking off at the beginning of the season. Probably goes for multiples. But as it is right now, he's still playing well. But you got Connor McDavid there, 55 goals. He's not going to lead the league in goals. He's not going to lead the league in points. But he's still going to be up there. It's still an impressive season. The problem is there are a lot of impressive seasons kind of overshadowed by each other, and he's just kind of lost in the mix.
Well, if folks are wanting to let it trend downward like that, I am going to make a push for one. I was shocked to see it. I actually checked therapy because when I seen it in the sold listings, I was like,
yeah, make sure it actually
did
sold.
they end that early?
Mm-hmm.
But then I checked therapy and it was there March 11th for $980. Now it's not a really cool patch. It's just a 2-color, but I don't know that I really am even going to worry too much about that because we know too that people swap patches in some of the products. So it might be best to just be happy with, a 2-color and not try to get a fancy one. So yeah, we'll see. Let's see here. Where was I at? Hockey Barn laughed at Eric. Mm-hmm. And then Jay Michelin said, why you all look like you smell like farts?
The question is, how many people does he know?
What's that?
And the question is, how many people does he know that smell like farts? Because he would know what people look like. I don't know.
JJ's a cool dude. He's just coming in.
But my question still stands. How do you know what people who smell like farts look like?
Because he probably does. He probably likes them too.
That's fine.
That's just how he is.
No judgment.
He's
We're
just
not
trying
kink
to join
shaming.
the club.
We don't kink shame. It's fine. It's whatever works for you, man. It's cool.
Maybe it's because the show sticks.
Wow, you've condemned this show now? Like, what the hell, man?
I was just wondering.
You're a guest.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
Wow.
okay. But no,
Listen,
JJ is one of
If
the.
I'm on it, how good can a freaking show be?
Well, that's the most truthful thing you've ever said. That's probably the
Right?
best
Yeah.
point you've ever made.
Yeah.
So,
Point for Eric. Point for
I'll
Eric.
give him that one. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Wes here says, I need to get the Robo Seismic Gold. So, funny story. The OPG Premiere, when I bought my green PMG, I actually was contemplating whether to get the green PMG or the, what do they call them? The green,
It's Emerald.
the Emerald Surge.
Yeah.
The Emerald Surge, which I think is out of 5 or 10 or something like that.
I think it's 5.
Yeah. But I was contemplating one or the other, and I went with the PMG. I don't regret it, but there is some pretty sweet OPG autos as well. So, Hockey here says, Sino Gretzky Lemieux dual auto get pulled from the cup at the Halifax show on Saturday. That wouldn't be a bad one.
Yeah, that one would probably get your pack price back.
Has anybody seen
buy it
any
from
of
Brad?
the captain, that little?
Oh yeah, the one with the
dual
C and
patches?
the A. The one with the C and
Yes. Have you guys seen any of those?
the A. Not yet. Just the mock-ups. Haven't seen one yet.
Interesting. So, speaking of Saturday, me and the missus went to do our local, like deliveries. You know, we have a card shop that submits cards through us, and then there's some people that meet us in that area and bring us cards, and we drop off and all that. They had cup boxes there. And damn, I would have loved to have opened one, but $1,200 is just like, I can't do that. I tried talking to him. I was like, hey, do you know 3 other people or 2 other people? I'll split it with you and 2 other people, and then we could just split it, 4 ways and then make it 300. And, just joking around, obviously. But I did pick up a 2023 Topps Series 1 hobby box. First of any Topps I've opened. I bought 1 hobby box, and then I bought a Series 110 because we always open the 10s, and then she likes to keep the 10s or whatever. And I have to say, I was pretty surprised to 1 box, an Adley Rushman rookie auto out of 199.
Right.
So single box that, one of the best players that you can get in there, and autos aren't guaranteed. So, and I actually pulled it. It wasn't her this time. So she actually pulled a Pyotr Kokechov, I think is how you pronounce the last name, young gun, which isn't too bad. He's a pretty decent goalie for Carolina. So not too bad on a 10 and a hobby box. Cheap breaks, just fun to rip. We enjoy opening product. The hobby box was $89. The 10 was $30. So I'm okay with doing that and having a little bit of fun every now and then. So Matt here says Dallas show is awesome, but sale and trading it hasn't slowed down at all in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, even hockey cards too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hearing, actually, speaking of JJ, he is the one who does a lot of shows up in the Michigan area, and I think he went to the one in Indianapolis. He's been saying shows are stacked too. They're packed, they're busy. Guns here went to Burbank. What's up to you, brother?
Mm-hmm.
He went to Burbank. He said that show was packed. So I've been hearing lots of good things about the cartridges. I haven't watched any footage from the Philly show or this past weekend's Dallas show. In about, I guess we got about 18 days. The Chantilly show will be in town, so I will be there with James and whoever else shows up. So that should be fun. I don't know if I'll be able to get a Robo Cup there. There has been some hockey dealers show up past couple shows, so we shall see. It would be cool if someone had one and I could make a run for one at the show, but I don't know if there'll be one there. So,
well, if worse comes to worse, you can always chat about it. I have to we still got to work out the details for everybody. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make at least an appearance at the Spring Expo, and I guarantee there'll be like 50 of them on the floor. It's gonna be it's gonna be pretty ridiculous. I'm confident there will be some in the showcases. I'm pretty sure.
If they're gonna drop down under $1,000 for a 2-color, then that's got me even more excited about making a push, but it's also making me wonder if I shouldn't just wait a little bit longer. Because if they've dropped that much already, I don't know if that, like, I don't know where the floor would be on something
I
like
would
that. And then
never
you got
try
the
to time the
playoffs.
floor. I would not try to time the floor.
Yeah,
The only
like,
question that I would have for you is, do you think Robertson's going to keep playing well? If the answer is yes, then you're not. Then you shouldn't be trying to figure it out to the penny on the floor. You find a
oh
price you're
no,
comfortable
no,
with, you buy the damn card, and you're good to go.
yeah, like, to be honest, I mean, what were we talking before? Like, Brad said he thought it would be 15,000,
At one point, it
and we're
probably
sitting
would
here
have been.
talking under 1,000.
In all
So,
seriousness, at one point, it probably would have been. I'm not exaggerating. The difference between where we're sitting right now and where we were if it had come out even a couple of months prior is a huge difference. Because
yeah,
he was on such fire. He was literally scoring like every single game. Like it was game after game after game. When somebody is in that kind of a heater, the wave of momentum carries, but the product wasn't there. The product wasn't available. Nobody could open it, nobody could pull it. Now, we're sitting there like nobody is scorching hot right now. Even the players who are playing really well, everybody's kind of already priced in. Connor McDavid is
right,
already at the top of the pack. So it's not like having another great season is, oh, well, this time around. It's like he's setting career highs in goals. He's setting career highs in points. He's getting close to that if he hasn't already. He's going to have a great season. He's going to win the Hart Trophy. He's going to do all these things. Question, how's it going to be in the playoffs? We'll see. But the point is he's playing about as well as he can play. Like he's scoring multiple points every night. He just keeps racking up multi-point games.
right. So JJ has a question here, and I'll let you guys give
Yeah.
your opinions on this. Obviously, I know you both talked to Billy and everything, but his question is, do you think Upper Deck can keep the hockey contract? Now, I don't want to speak out of turn, but didn't they just renew the contract?
So I have the answer to this question. I actually was when I saw the comment, I went and pulled it just to make sure I refreshed myself on the timing. So when Fanatics announced that they had acquired the licenses for the NBA, for the NFL, and for all that, and MLB, when they announced that they were going to take over those licenses, that was in the fall of 2021. Well, by the later fall, so it was actually in October, late October 2021, the same within months of doing that, that Upper Deck announced that they had taken a what they call a long-term extension with the
That's
NHL
what
and
I
the NHL
thought.
Players
Yeah.
Association. So the NHL and the NHL Players Association, and in the article here, it talks about them having done their diligence. So it's not like they just said, "Oh yeah, Upper Deck, sure, we'll just renew it forever," but they did some diligence and they said, "We're comfortable with how you're doing as a partner. We're willing to extend you on for a long period of time." What that means, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, no idea. I know the Fanatics ones are pretty long term. So if they're saying long term and that was the verbiage they were using, I'm guessing it's not 2 or 3 years. I'm guessing it's not up for renewal right now. For not for quite
Right.
some time.
I thought when I was reading that they had extended it. I just couldn't
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the timing
Late
and everything
2021.
either.
Late
So
2021.
let's see here. Gunn says he is on the grind buying the dip.
Mm-hmm.
I know he likes his basketball and some football stuff.
I think there's some opportunities.
Um,
They exist.
and he said so-called dip. He said he's searching out low print inserts of the 90s. I don't think those will ever go out of style, the 90s inserts. I will say one thing, though. I'm kind of surprised. And this isn't to, like, make people run and buy stuff or whatever. But I have some cards in my eBay store that I ended up running a 25% off promo for a few days in there. I'm not throwing out telling anybody what I put on sale, what I didn't. But there's some cards that I put on sale that I am very surprised that have not sold on a 25% off discount. So it's something I'm going to keep an eye on, but it's also something that's going to kind of give me some information on grading and some other things. So I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want, I'm not sitting here trying to push, hey, go buy all my shit, because that's not what I'm trying to do. Let's see. No, that's not what I'm doing, Eric. Because honestly, some of the stuff is too cheap. I didn't go in and select the cards. I went in and did a date range of stuff that had been in my store, and there was some stuff that fell in there, and I was too didn't feel like going and like unselecting stuff in the time frame because it was like 250, 300 items. So there's some stuff that shouldn't be priced where it's at, but we're gonna leave it there. Josh here says, "Good evening, gentlemen and Eric. Everyone, smash the like button. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate you." This says, "Hi, everyone I've missed. Hope you all have a great chat. Lots of football inserts way undervalued compared to their NBA counterparts of the same years." And then she says she's out, and then Guns asks, "So, what are you getting into? I seen you were putting cards away before we went live, Eric. So, was that hockey barn purchases that you're just
I listen. I do not buy from Hockey Barn. Nobody should. Okay, nobody should. I somehow he is drugging me and somehow hacking into my account and making me buy stuff. So I no. So stop giving him free advertisement because he doesn't deserve it because he's a bad man. Now the other stuff is we were talking about shows earlier. I went to 2 different types of shows this weekend. The first, my daughter and I went to a Comic-Con. This is something that we've been doing since she was very little. It's something that interests her, and I get to spend time with her, so it's it's a lot of fun.
just real quick? Do you dress up?
I wear a Punisher T-shirt,
Oh,
and
okay.
when she was
I
younger,
was hoping you had a full costume or something.
No, I wear a Punisher T-shirt that's as good as it gets. There have been times that her and her friends have done the cosplay thing, but I just wear a Punisher T-shirt and look grumpy, which isn't that hard for me.
I think you should
Does
just
she
wear the
wear the
Punisher shirt and the horse
cosplay?
head.
I was gonna say,
I
does she
could-
wear the cosplay so she doesn't like people don't know that she's with you?
Yeah,
It's a disguise, is what it is. At that point, it's not cosplay. It's a disguise.
yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point.
You'll know the jig is up, Eric, when she goes, "Hey, come on, you got to get in the spirit of it. A cosplay. Okay, fine. What do you want me to do? Here's a horse head. Wear this over your head.
Yeah,
You can keep the Punisher T-shirt. That's fine."
What is that? It's something BoJack Horseman or something like
BoJack
that. There's
Horseman
like
is the
some
cartoon. Yeah.
that we need to get a hat or a
horse
mask
head.
for Eric.
Yeah.
yeah. One of these days, she's just gonna. Why don't you stay in the car and pretend that you're a private investigator doing a stakeout? But
Like at the Kiss concert that you allegedly were looking through.
it's not. It was an Ace Frehley solo concert. Not
That doesn't make it better.
doesn't make it any worse. So we went to the Comic-Con and so he drugs me and then he's somehow trying to make it okay because he gave me a discount. I don't understand. I'm just saying, stay away. Do not go to eBay and Hockey Barn Collectibles and purchase hockey items because somehow he'll get in your head like a bug. It's just
This
stay
reverse
away.
psychology pump is a very strange tactic, Bubbles. It's very
So-
strange, very odd.
So this place was absolutely packed. This Comic-Con was absolutely packed. It was not the major one that comes to Boston every year that people come from around the world, but it was really a good size show, and we were there for many hours, and the place was absolutely packed, bumping into everybody and having to wait your turn to look at a table, and so that was great. And I actually found a dentist card for Carlos at that Comic-Con, and tried to get a hold of him, but he was being retired and he was sleeping at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
It was great.
so-
This weekend was fantastic. I caught up on years of sleep. It was great.
So I'm sitting here trying to get a hold of him. Like, do you need this? Do you need this?
Well, if you needed to get a hold of it, you literally could have just called. Like, I would have answered the phone.
You probably had your ringer off because you were in that.
No, I can answer. I can answer with the Apple Watch. I can literally just press it and just talk straight through it.
next time.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it was good to see all those people there. So the following morning, I went to a card show, and Adam Oates, the former Boston Bruin and Hall of Famer, was there. So I got a chance to meet him and talk to him for a bit and get some stuff signed. That
Did
show.
you pay for a picture?
No, I won't pay for pictures. That's ridiculous. So that place was, I think, may have broken an attendance record for that monthly show. It was absolutely packed, difficult to get even through it. Um, it was just it was absolutely packed, and it was the longest line that I've seen at that show to get an autograph from a former player of any sport. It just his line just snaked through up into the hotel. So I think right now the hobby is healthy. Um, even though we're kind of in a recession and people, have banks closing in the middle of the afternoon and falling apart. And I mean, these shows are packed, man. Bids I have on auctions on eBay, people are outbidding me. I think the hobby's pretty healthy right now. Now, if the recession gets worse, I think you'll see that slow down. But right now, these shows are packed with people, and they just throwing cash down. So I think that's good.
So at the shop you work at, I know you've mentioned it before that you do a lot of the eBay listings and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of the transaction rates and stuff on eBay? Like, do you handle most of the eBay stuff? I guess is the easiest way to say it. And what are you seeing on eBay transactions?
Where we should, well, all I can tell you is that I'm not as analytical as you. So I'm not looking at the statistics or the behind the scene numbers and things. I just know that we have 1,500 things, for example, on there right now, and we are shipping out. The other morning I think we had 40 things to ship out. So we are busy on just on our eBay platform. We are busy.
Do they run auction or
Yes,
buy it nows?
just auctions. We run
Just auction. Okay,
yes,
that's what I was curious about because
we run 7-day auctions. I would prefer 5-day, but I'm not. My name isn't on the building. That's somebody else's name. So 7-day auctions. Usually we start at a really low number. It bites us in the ass sometimes, but usually we do okay. And yeah, the mailman hates us. We have a UPS guy who comes every single day. We have the mail guy who comes every single day, and is lugging stuff up, out to the truck. So
yeah, I need to get
stuff, and some like we have seats from the old Boston Garden that get shipped out. We have hockey sticks that get shipped out. We have
I shipped a freaking bridge this week.
yeah. How much did that cost? I wonder.
What to ship?
Shipping. What was the shipping on that? Shipping is killing us. It's ridiculous.
Well, luckily the guy lived
now.
in the next state over, so it didn't cost me that much, and it
Right.
didn't weigh that much. It was just the box size was so freaking huge. It was, I think my box ended up being 36 by 24 by 24, so it was a massive box, but it didn't weigh but maybe 20 pounds, and the guy lived in North Carolina. I charged $50 shipping. I can actually tell you what
If
I paid
shipping
for
was
shipping.
cut in half, that money would go to higher bids. But people are really careful with the bidding when they see either an estimated number that they look up or a flat rate of like $50 to ship something, to wherever.
Well, this
And
was a buy it now, and the
yeah,
weird thing was,
but either way, people are like, yeah, I'm not gonna buy it now because I don't want to spend that much. But what a lot of people don't understand, unless you're actually selling and shipping things, this is how much it costs. This is not an upcharge. That money is not going into our pocket. It's not, even a handling fee.
yeah, I
You
charged
don't,
$49.99 and I paid $55.69 to
Yeah.
ship it. So I actually undercharged by about $5. So not bad. I mean, it was an expensive piece. I also, part of that is because I fully insured it, so that's kind of why it went up as well. My shipping would have been less than the $50, but I did add insurance on it just in case because it was an expensive piece. So let me get to some comments here. Gunn said John Morant should be banned from the NBA for showing guns. You would think these
There's a
kids
lot of
were
people
smart
who would
enough,
get banned
but
from the NBA if that was the standard.
I think
yeah, I
he should
mean,
be in trouble for showing illegal guns or being unsafe with guns. But I mean, and that's what he did. And I think there needs to be consequences for his behavior on that moment. But if you're doing it correctly, obviously you shouldn't be in trouble. If he did an instruction video at a range and did everything right and had a license, then that shouldn't be a problem. But
yeah, I don't know why he had it
it was completely unsafe and illegal, and there needs to be consequences.
Orlando here says, hello, everyone. G Squared has a take on John Morant. He said he can get banned after he sells his last PSA 10. That's fair.
Noble of you. Yes.
That's fair. He's still on the ban wagon, but he just wants to get his sale done first. Appreciate that. Hockey here says, want to buy a Paul Stanley signed Kiss Foundation certified guitar. I know a guy who picked one up this weekend. Sounds like it's right up your alley, Eric, and we know you got the money for it.
Eric's like, buy it now.
I saw it, and I don't plan, as much as I like it, I do not plan on bidding on it.
But best offer's cool, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
So if he sends me a deal like the last thing through Instagram, I'll probably end up having it on my wall behind me.
After you was talking shit.
That's 180
about it.
degrees
How
from
about
not long ago in the very same live stream we're on right
that?
now.
Whew.
Listen, I have issues.
You are weak, yes.
I am very weak when it comes to buying things that I like.
G Squared said the hobby is great for most things under 2K.
Yeah, reasonably priced stuff is okay. Yeah, I think a lot of it is. I think a lot of it honestly has. Now, some people are cheap and they'll still try to like Bubbles experiences. Even on cheaper stuff, some people will still tire kick. But there are other people who are interested. If there's something like they feel they're getting good value and it's a decent deal, there are people out there who'll be like, yeah, okay, I can make that deal. Sure.
Yeah, and I know you were joking to an extent, but when I put that sale on, there's a card that literally dropped $30 in price on the 25% off.
Yep.
And I had a guy message me asking if I would go even $30 below that. And I'm like, it shouldn't be priced where it's at to begin with. Why in the hell are you even asking me this? That's kind of like my first thought when the guy sent me the message.
The thing was, I wasn't
like,
completely joking. I had some T206s, graded T206s that I put up on eBay, and one of them sold and one of them I'm waiting for payment on, so I'll deal with that. But the other one paid no problem. Open auction, but I also included a best offer in case somebody wanted to make an offer on it. And the one guy sent in a best offer of $20, and I'm sitting there like, I will buy 100 of those at $20 right now if you got them, because they don't go for that anymore. That isn't what they've gone for in many years, especially if they're not absolutely demolished and destroyed. So, and the card is in decent shape. So I'm like, and it ended up selling for over $80 in open auction. And I go, yeah. And this is for a lower condition one. $20, you either A, are tire kicking, you're lowballing, or B, you have no idea what the market is on those because they haven't gone for $20 in maybe 20 years.
Yeah, and I usually don't mind when people message me, if they're within reason, they'll message and say, hey, could you take this on something? And if it's a reasonable price, I'm normally pretty flexible and will take it. But there are some people that's just like, I had a guy the other day message me. I had an item that I had just listed the previous day for $109.99. And he messages me and is like, can you take $94.01 plus your $5.99 shipping to make it an even 100? Now, okay, I get the creativity there asking for an even $100, but I was like, there was one that just sold for $116, and I just literally listed this thing. Why am I going to go ahead and cut myself that far? Like, that was probably 15% that he was 20% that he was asking me to discount it in one day. Like, I'm not that desperate to sell something that I know is going to sell at the price I have it at. So,
but the thing is that the person making the offer on it, in a lot of cases, they don't know the difference. They're assuming everybody's desperate to sell. That's why you'll get like,
yeah,
I've set minimum best offers on a lot of my stuff because I don't even want to deal with the tire kicking. But when I go check after, I can see some stuff people came up with. They were like, and they'll come up with all kinds of things and even message you. I had a guy message me pretending we had already had a conversation where I had agreed to a price.
Well, that was my point. I don't have best offer set
Mm.
on most all of my items.
Sure.
I do buy it now. I very rarely do auction and I very rarely put best offer on something. If I put best offer, it's because I don't know what to price the item at. So I'll put it up at something, you know, potential of what it could get, but then I'll throw best offer on there because I'm likely higher than I should be. Like the bridge that I was talking about, for example, I had that up and the guy that bought it didn't even send me an offer. He just bought it at the price I had it listed at, which I'll be honest on that. I did something I have never done on eBay, but he had low feedback and there's a section in the order information that says contact buyer, and sometimes it will show you the buyer's phone number. I actually called the guy because he had like 3 feedback, and the fact he didn't send me an offer and just bought the item, I was worried that maybe it was a case where he had gotten hacked or something. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I called and it ended up being a really nice older gentleman. He said he retired a couple years ago, owns 2 houses. He had just sold his house in Florida, was moving to a private club, like a private country club in North Carolina. It's up in the Smoky Mountains. And he had been collecting these train items since he was 10 years old, and he's always wanted that piece. And he knew how many watchers had been on it, like everything. And I'm like, okay, I just wanted to make sure that your card wasn't stolen or something, and
Mm-hmm.
that this was a legitimate purchase before I shipped this thing out of here. And he was like, "Oh yes, sir, I appreciate it." And then he calls me back like 15 minutes later. He's like, "Hey, Mr. Edwards, I just bought another item from you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna ship that separate because I'm not shipping it with the bridge."
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, he was a really nice gentleman. But I was worried because the guy had 3 feedback. So
Yeah.
um, I had to just make sure because that, like I said, that was a huge item, and I didn't want to ship that out, and then yeah. So
Yeah, we all had
guns,
backs at some point in time, right?
well, yeah, but like I've also had people,
I
I
know
still
the
have a,
scam. Oh, I know the scam. Absolutely.
yeah,
To be fair
they buy
though, when
something and they said they don't recognize the transaction.
yeah.
So
To be fair though, in the old days with the low feedback, I wasn't buying big items. It was
yeah,
building up.
exactly.
It was normal that you would work your way with like, okay, this is like a $5 card or whatever. You slowly build your way up. And after a little while, maybe you'd sell a couple of items. And before you know it, your feedback would start getting double digits, mid double digits. And then, okay, now we're all starting to feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure before I packaged that thing up and shipped it out. But
Well, Carlos, I
Guns here said, "Isn't that the CEO of Beckett?"
It is.
It
no, it
is.
is.
It is,
No, it
Guns.
is.
He pretends to not be, but he definitely is.
I am not.
Carlos has like photo evidence of it
Mhm.
with him in the office and
Yep.
interviews and all of that stuff. And he as you've already noticed during this live already, he likes to reverse pump things. People accuse me of pumping Robertson.
Mhm.
Eric reverse pumps so many things. And you notice it's the same strategy. He talks shit about Beckett, but he absolutely loves him because he's the CEO. He says he wants to open a card shop with batting cages and an indoor basketball court. That sounds
Bold.
like quite a shop. I do know a place that has an indoor basketball court for sale that a guy's been trying to sell for a while. It's like got a big 23 on the gate and stuff. Might look into that, Guns. Be a good spot for a card shop.
Mhm.
I think you buy the facility first, and you set a card shop up within it. Like a pro shop at a skating rink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you already have the structure and everything, and then you just add on off to the side instead of doing it the other way.
Could you imagine buying Jordan's mansion and setting that up as a card shop? I think you might have the coolest damn card shop in the world. But G Squared here said, I know UPS and FedEx have been screwing people. I am going to actually defend UPS because their rates are pretty damn good. FedEx, on the other hand, they are expensive, but UPS, I use them a lot and I get really good rates with UPS. So, and they're pretty quick when you ship with them too. He says NBA should force Morant to play for the Raptors in Canada where guns are banned. Well, they're not exactly allowed in the situation that he had one in anyway, so I don't know that that would freaking matter.
I was gonna say it's not like he was staying within the current laws anyway.
Yeah. Do you think the Morant hate is with him or the guns themselves? I think it is a situation of you are a millionaire athlete, many eyes on you, and that was something stupid. You shouldn't had a gun. Like I have nothing against guns at all. I hunt everything.
Yeah.
Nothing against guns. But there is a time and place and a legal and proper way to associate yourself and use a gun. And a club is not one of those places.
And if you're John
So,
Morant, you can afford security. You shouldn't need anything. You should literally have
yeah.
people whose only job it is to create a perimeter around you and protect you. That's their only job. That's basically what you're paying them to do.
Hockey here said it's a keeper. He's talking about the guitar. He got a sweet deal on it himself.
He's a kiss tease. See what I have to deal with? He's a kiss tease. Can you just block him? Good God.
G Square said the hate is with Morant. He's been an asshole for like 2 seasons. Again, I'm not going to talk about his.
He's a
whether
young guy
he's
in
an
his early
asshole or
20s with a
not.
lot of money. Just kind of
Yeah,
bear
I
that in
mean-
mind. Like it's very difficult for a lot of these young athletes. You're in your early 20s and you have more money than you possibly know what to do with. You
I'm
basically
sure
have
he's
to,
done good things.
but he also has too much time on his hands, being that outside of when he's actually participating in the game, he's got money and time.
Yep.
Not necessarily a good combination for a guy in his early 20s who might get bored very easily.
Did you guys hear this? It's who knows what's what, right? Before this event happened with him, I guess there was like a player only meeting in the locker room where one of the team leaders got up and said, made some statements about being smart, being responsible, acting professional, etc. And everyone in the room knew who he was talking about. And then, like that night or the next night, this stuff happened. So,
Well, correct me if
I
I'm
guess
wrong,
what's going on with this kid?
because I don't follow it all and know all of the details of all the situations. But wasn't Morant close to that dude that's on the card, one of his cards, that young Dolph? And wasn't he shot like after being at a club or something like that? Wasn't that how that whole scenario went down? And now you have the guy who was supposedly good friends of this individual that lost his life. And if memory is like, I could be off on this, but I'm pretty sure the incident happened after he was leaving a club. And now he has a gun in the club. Like that's not what you want to be. Like that's a bad look. So, but anyway,
Unfortunately, the gangster lifestyle has been, shown as a good thing and a cool thing for many generations now. And I don't think it's specifically a race thing because there's plenty of stupid ass white kids doing the same damn crap.
oh yeah,
But the gangster lifestyle has been pushed, and young people, see it as something that's cool, and they get themselves in a lot of trouble because when they meet a real gangster, it's all over.
I know Andy in the Discord had a great question because apparently this happened in Denver, and they were wondering how in the hell he got the gun to Denver anyway.
Hmm?
Like, does he just carry it around in his bag? And was it a chartered flight or was it?
I think the key piece to that question and the rest of it is really simple. The key piece to the question is that regardless, you had to go out of your way. That's the point. Regardless, it wasn't like you accidentally brought it with you. You had intentionally done so. You either had to plan it, or you smuggled it, or you did
And
whatever.
why did he have it out?
Because
That's part of the point. The point
that's
really
exactly
is
what I
your
just said.
responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
looks cool.
but it's stupid.
Yes.
So Hockey here said Eric wants to open a shop with live. I think he had a typo here, or maybe autocorrect. I think he meant live piggyback rides
Yeah, piggyback
and a
rides is what he's
petting
really
zoo.
into. Again, we don't kink shame. We talked about it earlier tonight, but it's a little weird.
Yeah, I think it was live piggyback, but he put like it autocorrected to
Well,
pony because
either
that would.
either way, I think it would be very successful, and I'd be very wealthy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Gunsy is planning to shut the basketball court down for card shows. I heard basketball courts and card shows though really don't mix very well,
Mm-hmm.
allegedly.
I think he's talking about if Jordan's house um, was a card shop and you could put it on the basketball court. I think that's where that came from. But
I don't know what a
Well, he originally
peeler
wanted to
club
start
is.
up a card shop with a basketball court and
Strip
a batting
club?
cage. That's what originally he was talking about.
that would be
Is it?
cool.
Am I out of the terminology? Is peeler club a strip club? Is that what he's in
Yeah,
reference
he
to?
was in a strip club as part of this last story.
Okay.
So yes.
I've never heard it called a peeler club. So, Adams called the meeting that Eric was talking about. And he's talking about young Dolph.
Yeah.
He said he punched a 17-year-old and flashed a gun at him also. That was an earlier incident. Yeah, I forgot about that part.
This kid. That's why Adams is saying, guys, we need to get our stuff together here and be professionals.
And then Brendan Ryan's trying to add more parallels to Panini's repertoire. The John Morant game used Bullet.
First of all, come on. Panini would never do something like that. That's more of a Leaf thing.
Very possible. They might already have those.
Yeah.
But it probably is a prop, But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you. So I've talked a little bit about it, not very much over the course of, I don't even know how many years I've been on YouTube now. 3, 4. I didn't forgot, honestly, but I talked about it once or twice, maybe. I ran a website for an NFL player. And that NFL player got in trouble with the feds. Shockingly to me, because he was a really nice guy and everything. I'd never been to his house, but we had hung out on many occasions. We had done, autograph signings. We went to, there used to be a arena football team called the Northern Kentucky River Monsters, and his college teammate played on the team, and I can't remember the guy's name. The dude that was on the Giants, the quarterback on the Giants, that then had this documentary about how big he got and everything because he put on a lot.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
Isn't he dead?
I don't think he's dead.
Okay.
It might have happened if recently, but he was the quarterback for that arena team.
Yeah, he looks like a lineman.
Yeah, he gained a lot of weight. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 400 pounds. He's huge.
I can't remember what his name is. It slips me. But anyway, the website, the player was Jerome Simpson, and obviously he got today it wouldn't probably be as big of a deal because it's been legalized in many places, but he got caught by the feds ordering marijuana from the Emerald Jungle out in California. And they searched his house and he wound up having 8.5 pounds. That team alone also had Pac-Man Jones, who had a lot of legal troubles or interactions with the police, we'll say. I believe Cedric Benson had some legal troubles. So there was many. Ray Malaluga, he was an awesome dude. Hung out with him at a lot of the events. Real funny guy. Liked to joke around and everything. I actually was trying to look up to see what he was doing today, and apparently he's in jail because he kept getting a bunch of DUIs and everything. Um, so that team, like, and maybe it's not just that team. This might happen more often than it's spoken of. But to Carlos's point earlier, the time on these guys' hands and the amount of money that they get, you see it happen a lot in football because they
Mhm.
have such a short season. Now, sure, they work out in the off season or whatever, but the season itself being 17 weeks now, formerly 16 weeks with a bye week, that's 4 months out of the year that they're really playing the game, and it's 1 day a week. They got the practices or whatever, but they have a lot of expendable time
Mhm.
to get in trouble and a lot of freaking money, a lot of people that want their hands in that pot of money, you know, and it's always been really, you can be a great person, but it's who you associate yourself with. Who is in your posse, your clique, and it only takes one stupid mistake to ruin that entire career. So I don't know. I know the leagues have tried to do counseling stuff and all of that. Obviously Adams apparently had done a meeting, but I don't know what these leagues and stuff can do to help these guys. I mean, but it something's got to give. So you can't have a star player like that, especially doing something stupid. So
Well, the problem, look, I don't want to dwell on it too much because at the end of the day, it's not our lives and it's not our situation to discuss at length. But the reality is that part of John Morant's problem, amongst other problems, is the amount of time he's got on his hands and all that. But also, part of his posse is his dad. And if dad is content to be part of the posse and be part of, instead of being dad, he's one of the homies, that isn't going to work. the, somebody needs to be the responsible party. Somebody needs to be, and if the person who would normally be the responsible party is an enabler, is part of the crew, well then the game's over. What are you gonna do?
isn't that some of the concern with Mahomes? Like I guess his brother and
Yeah,
I
but
guess
I think the brother dynamic is a little different. What I'm referring to is I'm just talking about. It's not a situation where John Moran can point back to his family and say, "Oh, you had a broken family life. Like, mom's there and dad's there." The problem is dad is part of the crew. He's one of the
It,
homies instead of being dad. So it's a
Carlos,
little bit of a different dynamic.
I don't remember everything because I don't follow this stuff that much. But isn't his father the one that got into like an on court fight ish, well, almost fight with Shannon Sharp during
Yeah,
a
and
game?
I think also I could be mistaken, but I believe one of the incidents was like at a shoe store and his mom having an issue with somebody, and then basically resulting in her son and some of that crew getting involved in it. And like the fact is, so mom is also an enabler. She's also taking advantage of the fact her son is famous, and dad's part of the crew. So then who is the responsible party? Who's the one saying no? Who's the one saying, hey, we got to think about this? And if the answer is nobody, well then there you go. A brother you can ignore. Like a brother is a brother, but at the same time, like you're closer to peers. If supposedly the parents are there and they're just like, yeah, you're right, do that. Well, then we're done. It's really easy.
yeah, I mean the guys got to do something, and really, it always amazes me when things like this happen because yeah, sure, we can say they got a lot of time on their hands, we can say they got a lot of money, but this is something that you work your entire damn life to accomplish, and not many people make it, and they know that the entire time. Why screw it up? Like that part is what's always gotten me. Is like, why did you work your ass off since you were a young, child to get where you are, just to screw it and throw it all away? That part I've never understood. But
Well, I
Hockey Barn here
understand
says,
as somebody who has a mother who is mean and doesn't make them cookies and stuff and treats them bad
Mm.
and goes on.
so Hockey Barn here says, that's my Canadian East Coast slang. coming out.
Yep. In reference to the peeler. Yep.
Let's see. Sounds perfect for the first Fanatics tops Allen and Ginter.
That already happened. I went to double check the timeline just to make sure, but they took over tops at the beginning of 2022. Ginter came out in November. They had plenty
He
of
was
time to
talking
influence
about
it.
the bullet thing.
No, I understand, but he said the first Ginter under Fanatics.
Oh,
That already happened. That already happened. Too late. Sorry. This will be the second one.
Are you good now, Eric? I don't want to I can't let you bash Mrs. Wade. She's a nice lady.
Especially when she's not here to insult you back, which is great.
Hey, I'm just saying, man.
I haven't had cookies in like a week.
That sounds like
does
a
your
you
waistline
problem.
Does your waistline reflect this reality? Don't lie to the people.
I've lost quite a bit of weight since the beginning of the year. Thank you, sir. I can show you the proof.
Guns here says the old saying of "Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are."
Fair.
That's a good point.
That's fair. The apple doesn't fall from the tree. And Brendan here said a lot of players over the years have done provocative things for better or worse. Remember when Dennis Rodman started getting weird? I mean, being weird and coloring your hair and getting piercings and all that's one thing, but
like 85
taking a gun to a club
stuff,
when you know you shouldn't is completely
90%
different.
of the stuff Dennis Rodman was doing was weird, but not illegal.
Right.
Like most of the stuff he was doing was like, yeah, it's really weird. Is it legal? No.
And
no.
he was a hell of a ball player too.
Yeah.
So he couldn't really, he didn't really score.
As long as he didn't do anything actually illegal, even the Bulls were like, look, just get him on the court. As long as he didn't break any laws and we don't have to bail him out of jail somewhere, like, let's just go with it. Whatever.
Can we end the show?
And Mrs. Wade, how are you doing this evening? That was all Eric. I tried, you've seen, I tried to take care of it for you.
To protect him from himself.
Hi, Mom.
But anyway, guys, anything else on the docket that you would like to talk about? I am going to keep this somewhat short tonight because of the game, and I do have to get a few things done before I go watch Dallas give Kraken that L again tonight. So
hope you have a comfortable couch.
We actually do.
Okay.
Strategy.
But no, it should be a good game. And it's fun to watch either way.
I want to show this
card
I picked up. If you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
I had it in a holder, so that's why it's the magnetic the mag holder is upside down because it only fits in it that way. But check this out. I hadn't seen this before, and it is absolutely freaking gorgeous.
The chrome reprint.
And I got this for $10, and come to find out, it just sold on eBay recently for $50.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I've never seen one before, and it blew me away. And I didn't know
they
if Carlos,
probably make a refractor.
I don't want a refractor. This thing is gorgeous the way it's silver and mirrored. It's absolutely perfect. So for $10, that I bought other cards this weekend that may have been worth more, but that's the one that's sitting on my desk right now because I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
I actually meant to show this last Monday, and I forgot. So I'm going to share a pickup I have.
9 tops.
When we were out and about, looking for stuff to pick up, doing the resale thing, I actually found this. Nothing big. It's an exhibits Willie Mays, but I couldn't believe the price there on it. $6 for a Willie Mays. I will take that all day. I actually looked it over because I was concerned that maybe it was a reprint, but it looks to be good. So I'll take that all day. And also, that's part of the fun about going out looking for stuff is I do still come across cards. So,
Nice, nice, nice. So check out Bobbles. I put a link in the chat there if you want to see.
oh,
Check that
Carlos
one
just
out.
has links.
Oh, I got links
Oh
now.
yeah, there is a refractor.
Yeah, it looks nice because the thing is, as soon as you have silver, the refractor really pops. Like any silver, it'll always be a little bit more reflective. It usually the best refractors have that silver background. It tends to work really well
Yeah,
with that
if
technology.
you can find one, Eric, I think you would really fall in love with them. And I figured it did have a refractor because those
Yeah,
chrome reprints.
yeah. Right now, I can tell you the ones on eBay are way overpriced. Like I think this one was asking $1,000. I'm like, absolutely not. No, you're out of your damn mind. However,
That's
is it a pretty card? No question, no
yeah.
doubt. It looks
Right.
fantastic.
Not I can't argue with that. I mean, I sure the heck would love it, but I wouldn't pay $1,000 for something from 1998.
I
That's
think
a
they're just making.
obvious
I think it's one of those situations.
or
Like that's a topic that I do want to address, like on a video or live. There's a lot of these products, stuff like that. It's people just making up a number. The number isn't based on anything. Like there's no anchor to be like, yeah, why not $10,000? Why not $100,000? You may as well because it's also not anchored in anything. You may as well just throw a gigantic number out there and go with it.
I mean, is it limited to 10? I mean,
That's the
okay,
thing though. As far as I
but
can tell, it's not numbered. So I'm
yeah,
like, so what is the so? I'm sure it's rare. I'm sure it's not expensive.
yeah, I think that's ludicrous.
Is it a winding down there, Bubbles?
The missus, I don't know. She sent me, she's texting me now ones that are ending because she really wants me to get one too because she knows.
I think
Plus,
if one of them sold for that price, I think the additional right now I think people are jockeying for the ones they want. I don't think it's going to require that many copies. Like once a couple of copies go and it's sliding a little bit, I think the pricing. I'll be honest, even at the current price point, what you talked about earlier tonight, I would be fine with it. Again, with the caveat that your expectation is that it's going to keep playing well in the future. Well, guess what? Then that card will hold. It'll find its
well,
number and
it's
come right back to where it is.
yeah, and I mean, again, as player collectors or even a team collector, you know how it is. I mean, when you're trying to build a collection of somebody, especially like I don't want to say I got lucky because I started buying him and watching him early because I just felt like even being new to hockey, the way he came into the league as a young rookie and started scoring right out the gates, there was something there that kind of told me, hey, nobody's talking about this kid, nobody's buying him. Take a flyer on him, you know, and then I started watching him more and more, and it just became the player I grasped onto. So it's kind of cool again. You're not always going to be right on players, but you can still collect. Like I've watched Victor Robles since he was in single A in baseball, right? Met the kid in 2017, and I have a Victor Robles PC. He was one of the top rated prospects in baseball. And yeah, sure, he's made the majors, but he's not, you know, he's not a superstar. But I still enjoy my PC of him. My other PC, Michael Taylor, you know, he's a starter, Gold Glove winner, but he's not a superstar. Um, so even if it is a situation where he doesn't continue this trend and he regresses a bit, I still want the card. Now I get what you're saying. If he regressed, then obviously I could get one cheaper, but then it would be holding out and hoping that they don't dry up. So
Well,
I think I'm going to
my
make a
key
push
point
for
is that
one.
trying to find the absolute bottom is a fool's errand. I think it's
Oh
one of those
no,
things where you're more likely to overcorrect. You're more likely to wait too long, and then it starts creeping back up. If you find a
right?
number that you're comfortable with, that you're gonna be like, because it's to you, it's not a flip. You're not worrying about a quick flip. You're thinking a longer term hold. So again, if you believe the player is going to play well, I don't think his price point. I don't think his card price is suddenly going to drop in half from where it is right now. It's going
The
to
reason I
basically
mentioned the
settle around that
bottom
number.
wasn't trying to time it.
Yeah,
It was I was surprised that they went under the $1,000 point,
I
and
just
so
don't think
that's
the
why I
heat
was
is
like,
there
as
right now. The
quickly as
hype is
that
not there.
happened,
Yeah, the hype is not there.
yeah, but that's what I was talking about. Not necessarily trying to time the bottom. I just don't know if he's going to go even like if the not even him in general. Are these cup cards going to drop down a bit more just
To a point.
because of the you know the time that it took to get the product out?
Mhm.
You know, did the delay hurt it more than help it? And so that's what I was talking about. I am definitely not
Yeah.
trying to time a bottom
Yeah.
on it because I don't.
The
The
delay we
truth
know
is
already
I
based
want
on the
him to go on
trajectory.
fire again. Playoffs are coming up. I want them to win the damn Stanley Cup, and then that would make it go up. So
Yeah.
my timing is short anyway.
Mhm. Yeah. The reality is, we've seen it out of the block. It has been cold. It has been very. The product was very expensive. I think a lot of people have been opening the product, and I think they've seen people get destroyed, and I think that's thrown a little bit of cold water on it. And again, it's not that there aren't great cards in it, but it's one of those things where like now you know the RPA isn't going to save you. You can pull the RPA from some of the top guys, and unless it's one of the parallel versions of it, because even the I showed you that one with the button. You know the one that we talked about, the Robertson with the button. Now
Hmm.
I know you're not into the button cards, but that button card was like out of 3. It's like it's a
Yeah, I think it
variant
did
of it, very
30.
low.
I think that did 3,600.
Yeah, but that's my point. My point is that's a very low numbered variant. Somebody who is like a super collector for it, that traditionally would be a very low, a very desirable card. $3,000 or $4,000 is still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, it
Hmm.
is, but it's not out of whack. The
Right.
RPA under like normal market conditions with the start he had and everything, the RPA would have been pushing above that number. So that the out of 3 variant was sold for so much less and kind of hovered around that price. For some of those cards, they're not going to get too much cheaper. They can still slide down a little bit more, but it's not going to like drop by 30 or 40%. Unless he plays bad.
Right.
If he plays bad, then all bets are off. Then you know
I'm
the bottom's
really
the limit.
I'm curious to see the exquisites too, because there's been some of those that have went for a pretty high price, considering that they are redemptions as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's another one that I'm
Well,
curious to see what they
well, if
do.
we're talking about
But
outside of the RPA, the truth is there are some nice cards that are going to be there for some of those young players that I think are perfectly desirable and I think might provide some decent value. Not advice like y'all do you, but the point is traditionally people search after the RPA. That's usually the one they target first. But some of
hmm
those other patch cards or memorabilia cards or autograph, as long as it's on card auto and all that nice, those are desirable. For the rookie year, for some of those young players, those are desirable. And down the road, they become more desirable if the player did, in fact, become what we hoped they would become.
to play off of that too, I can't believe Ottinger is only 250 to 350 on his
Mhm.
Cup RPA.
Yep.
That is absolutely insane for as good as that kid is at goalie and those boxes being 12. If I pulled an Ottinger RPA, I would be ecstatic, but then I would be like, how in the hell did this box cost me $1,200? I mean, it's like, what the hell?
And that right now, in a nutshell, is the problem. That is the problem currently that a lot of people are facing is that they bought it, pulled what should be a good pull, and they're like, I'm still underwater. I'm
Oh,
still way
yeah.
underwater.
Like,
Like, I'm not even close.
I can't believe he's like, there's been two that I see right here that's under $300 that have ended, sold.
Mhm.
So that's crazy. But Eric, it's time for you to get into the ultra modern, buddy. Sounds like the prices are pretty good right now.
Uh,
Get you some cup RPAs.
Just pick
no.
some random Boston players. They're going to go undefeated in the playoffs, right, Eric?
Oh God, no, no, they're not going to go undefeated. But
Did
not
you
even a little.
do you know so congratulations that you guys have clinched the playoff spot. Do you know the stat that they tossed out Saturday night during the Dallas Kraken game?
No, I do not.
So obviously, you guys, what is it? You got to 50 wins or something
Fastest
faster
to
than
50.
anybody.
Yeah,
Okay,
fast 50, fastest to 100 points.
and so I think the previous team, the team that y'all just beat, was like the
Canadian team.
2018 Maple Leafs or something like that.
I think it was the fastest to 100 points or something. I think was like the 78 Canadians or something.
Yeah, because aren't they the ones who hold the record for points?
Yeah.
I think it was like
Well, I
132
guess it
points or
was the
something
50
stupid.
wins or something
Okay.
Yeah.
that you
Fastest.
guys. Yeah, so
There's
they
no way
made
that
sure to.
a Maple Leafs team from any time in this century.
Well, anyway, the team that you guys passed to get to that, they made sure to let us know that that y'all were that team was the number 1 seed heading into the playoffs, like best team in the league, and then they got swept in the first round. So you have that going for you.
Yeah, last year, I know last year the Panthers were the most dominant team and won the President's Trophy, and just lost in the first round. They were just brutal. So, yeah, you work hard to get into the playoffs, but then everyone's got the same record, and you start again, and that's why it's the best playoffs in professional sports. Yes, they'll
Well,
have
to be fair, all sports they start over with fresh records when they get to the playoffs.
but this is the best. This is the best. Very
it
few
is
people,
fun. Playoff hockey is
very few
crazy.
people will argue with that.
I would also say, just to be fair, and like just to piggyback off of it, is that the reality of the hockey playoffs is that it is the only playoff, really, truly, where one can play 8, and there's no reason to believe 8 can't win. It's happened all the time. Like it's not it's still an upset, but it's not like this crazy thing that no, it totally happens. It can totally one team you have to consistently remain consistent, round by round by round. And then you won this round, dominated. Cool. The next team that's facing you doesn't care. They don't care. They're only concerned with their own situation. They will face you, and maybe they'll do it physically, maybe they'll do it with finesse, maybe a combination of the two. Each one presents its own unique challenge. Sometimes styles make fights. Certain teams are built for a certain path. If something happens, somebody gets upset, and you get the wrong opponent, even though you were favored, then you lose. Happens all the time.
I really hope
you got to get.
I really hope the Stars can figure out overtime, because that's what scares me the most about going into the playoffs. They're tied for worst in the league with overtime losses. Now, there's pros and cons to that because they do get the 1 point. They haven't been losing in regulation, so they have been going to overtime. But all of those overtime losses add up, and if you can't win in OT, it's going to be tough to be successful in the playoffs. So, but we'll see. It should be coming up soon, and we'll just have to knock Boston out.
Well, that's the thing. When you're going into the playoffs with such a record, everyone's got their eye on you, and they're going to have a real tough run. It's not going to be easy. And the team that I am most scared of is Carolina. We just have a hard time beating those former Whalers. The way they play really tough. They got Rod Brindamore, Rod the Bod, as they used to call him, as their head coach. He is. I think he could probably put on skates and play now and beat the hell out of someone. They are a tough team, and my hope is we don't get them in the first round. Someone else does, and someone else can beat them, hopefully, because the Bruins do not do well playing Carolina.
They've
been pretty good too, yeah.
That's the reason why I go back to what I said, is that for all the success the Bruins have had, the wrong opponent. Like for years, the Leafs had their for years, the Leafs, like I locally love making fun of the Leafs. When they lose, it's one of the most entertaining things in the world for me. The joy I derive is
well, get prepared because you're going to do it again.
And that's what I'm here for. I live for it. But for many years, the Bruins were one of their problems. They would run into the Bruins, and the Bruins had the right combination, even when the Leafs had them down. The most infamous Game 7 result. Like, it looked like, all right, well, I guess that's it. They're going to advance. Nope, they didn't advance. And then they would find ways to lose against them. They'd find ways to lose against, I think, Tampa a couple of times. So, regular season, though, this team was perfectly capable against a lot of these teams, no problem. Get to the playoffs, different beast entirely. Different conversation.
I'll finish this up here. I don't know anything about this fight.
I don't watch boxing anymore. I used to be a lot more into boxing. I just don't watch it.
I'm gonna say, Guns, take Tank Davis just because his name is Tank. There we go.
Hopefully he's better than Tank Abbott.
He's gotta be good if his name is Tank.
Hopefully he's better than Tank Abbott. That didn't turn out well at the end. Just throwing it out there. If you know, you know.
We're just going for names. So, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna cut it. That way I can get some stuff done before the game comes on. I do appreciate everybody. If you could hit that thumbs up and make Eric pay.
Mm.
That's our motto around here. Make
I,
Eric pay.
hey, Bobbles, let me just say be serious for a second. Say one last thing. Tomorrow is my birthday. I'll be 49 years old. And I want to take this opportunity to thank my mom for 49 great years. Thank you for everything you've done for me. And even at 49, you're still supporting me and following me around the internet and being in chats and participating in my silly humor. And I just wanted to know that I appreciate her and I love her. And, wouldn't have been here without you, figuratively and literally. So love you, Mom.
Mrs. Wade, you deserve the thanks. And since it is his birthday tomorrow, take the day off. No cookies for Eric. Have yourself, sit back, put your feet up, and say, damn, I put that into Earth 49 years ago. But nah, happy birthday, man. And again, thank you all for hopping on. I know, we just sit around, have fun, and chit chat. So it's kind of cool to get on and talk to everybody and you guys showing up. And yeah, it's kind of crazy little world that we have now with the interwebs and this StreamYard and everything else. But I do appreciate all of you and hope you guys have a wonderful evening, rest of your week. I know Carlos is retired, so he'll, probably stay up tonight and sleep in tomorrow. And Eric, he never, it's his birthday tomorrow, so he'll probably stay up like a little kid waiting for midnight so he can open his presents or something. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all have a wonderful night. I'm going to go watch the Stars, hopefully beat the Kraken. We will see. But as always, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. And until the next video, I'm out.